I've been doing photography on an amateur level for about 25 years now, and I started thinking about what photography has given me in return for me getting the camera, busting out of the apartment and going out shooting photographs like a madman. And I actually think photography kept me from being a madman. But we'll get into that later in this video. And one of the things that got me thinking about this was that I haven't picked up a camera for about a year or so after I finished my last year's project of 2024. So, well, let's dig into what photography has given me and what it might give you right after this intro. Hi, again. This is going to be a long one, I believe. I've got a lot of pages to read from. But anyway, let's kick it off, shall we? I've always been a creative person. When I was a kid, I used to draw on everything from walls, benches, school desks, my own desk, notebooks, school books, drawing pads. And I believe I used to waste at least a little bit of film on my parents' camera. And me and my friends even did some home movies back in the early 80s with an old VHS video camera. Some sci-fi action thrillers that will never see the light of day again. I'm on a George Lucas level here. I hope those movies are just as destroyed as the Star Wars Holiday Special that he's on a mission to destroy. So yeah, I've always been a creative person. And over the years, that is something that I really never tried to hide it, but I didn't show it to people either in a way that I probably should and that I'm doing now on YouTube and social media and stuff. Because I didn't feel that what I was doing was worth anything. It couldn't stand up to the people who show their photographs, even though deep down inside I knew it did. And now I definitely know it does. I stand up to every other photographer out there. So, of course I try to hide this creative side from myself, but it was impossible. If you are a creative person, once you get that stone rolling, I think you better just run like Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just run and go with it, because when you're a creative person, you can't stop being creative. It's impossible. And another reason I tried to hide it from myself was because it didn't give me any money. I'm not selling any photographs, even though I advertise them on YouTube, on Instagram, on my own webpage, www.jresin.se, link in the description. You can go buy some photographs there. Photography hasn't given me any money. It has given me a lighter wallet, on the other hand. But I wish it could fill up that wallet too. That would be the icing on a cake. So photography hasn't given me any money. And if you look at my followers on YouTube and Instagram, the photography hasn't given me any followers either. So I have no money, I have no fame in the field of photography, and I'm fine with that. But what photography has given me is something far better than fame and money. It has given me a place where I can relax, I can cool down. Like, for instance, when I started, the darkroom or the photography lessons we had for 2 hours a week in school gave me it gave me a fortress of solitude. I felt comfortable going around with a camera in my hand. I felt relaxed being in the dark room. And after I graduated, photography became sort of a ship on a stormy ocean for me. I lost it completely. Since I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a dark room, I didn't have nothing. So I basically just tried to draw, and I suck at drawing. Yeah, I can draw a stick figure and that's about it. Yeah. Even though I drew some art stuff for tattoos for some people, they have something wrong with their eyes. Well, photography wasn't of course completely gone, because we had a camera in the family, but we weren't rich, and film was expensive, and developed film was expensive. So I couldn't be as creative as I wanted with that camera. And because of that, photography was of course restricted to holidays like Christmas, New Year's, Easter, and family vacations with a caravan behind a Volvo 240 going up and down Sweden for weeks. And I recently, when we moved, my mom found a box of a lot of old photographs, and this is pre-Instagram, and those photographs might be Instagram in a box. They were pictures of people eating, and pictures of food, and pictures of people eating more food at camping sites, resting spots on the road, everywhere. So yeah, that little box became my box of Instagram. Back to the topic of what photography has really given me. Well, a couple of years ago, when I worked for a small company called D-Link, I crashed and burned. Too much work, too little rest, too little pay to go on vacation, to rest, and we had the lowest salary in Sweden. On top of that, I had to go on sick leave because I had a herniated disc. So that put me down. I could barely walk, I had no money, and I didn't know what to do. So thankfully, my parents stepped in and helped me out. And I needed something to do. I needed to get back up walking again. I needed to get out of the apartment. I needed to discover the world. I needed to get rid of the depression all this had put me under. So when my parents asked me what to do, I said, let's go buy a camera. Because I knew that photography once gave me this fortress of solitude where I felt like nothing in the world can touch me. So I found my ship on the ocean. Damn, that sounded deep. And before I started working on D-Link, I studied Photoshop. Like I said, I can't draw even if my life depended on it. And the only thing I could draw was logotypes. So I needed that camera to start thinking in new ways. And I also needed something to work on in Photoshop. Since I had Photoshop, I had the education on Photoshop, but I didn't have anything to edit in Photoshop. So that camera really became a blessing for me. And that camera was a Nikon D50. Grabbing that camera, going out of the apartment, and because of my back I had to just take short walks in the beginning before my legs were all numb and I almost fell to the ground, did wonders for my mental health. It showed me that I can do something. There is a road back from all this. And that was amazing. It was like a whole new world opened up. A dark veil was lifted and I saw the light again. And it was awesome. It was such a relief. And I actually found out that I was good at doing photography. I was good at finding compositions. And I loved starting to walk around the town looking for something that other people didn't see. Small things, big things, everything. That made me see that little town in a new way, in a more beautiful way. Because, to be honest, I lived in Haparanda, near the Finnish border in Sweden, and I do believe that Haparanda is close to the ugliest town in the world, or at least the ugliest town I've seen traveling around the world. My hometown of Luleå comes pretty close. But Haparanda is on another level. I slowly started to rebuild myself and building up trust in myself. I can actually do something. Again. I actually found my inner kid again, that curious little boy who grew up being curious of the world, never wanting to stop exploring the world, just wanting to find a new adventure around every corner. So it also sparked my curiosity again. Something I didn't realize it, but I had lost it for so many years. And that feeling of being curious hasn't left me since. And every time I pick up a camera now, I become that 8-10-year-old curious kid again. And that's a feeling that makes me so happy. Every time I go out, take a photograph, I'm so happy about the whole process. And if I get home, I found that I have actually taken 1 or 2 good photographs out of 100. It's the extra icing on the cake. And if someone else happens to like that photograph, even though I don't have any need for fame and fortune, in the lack of better words, and I don't have the need of other people telling me that I'm doing good or that I'm good at something, it's just the extra icing on that cake. One other beautiful thing about photography. Me and my wife met each other 8 years ago. And going out to exploring the world with the camera has now gotten even better. Because my wife wants to go with me. And sitting in a car for hours, just driving, talking, is such a beautiful thing. Even though she doesn't do photography. She claims, but she runs around with a mobile phone taking a lot of photographs. And she's really, really good at it. It's just a wonderful time. Away from TVs, internet, whatever, just being together. Photography has also given me closure. Because last year when we went out doing this boring and mundane project where we showed that nothing really happened, I came to a closure with my hometown, with my old street and everything about that since my dad passed away. And that was also a feeling of relief that I can now let all that go and just move on. So yeah, without photography I would have been a madman. Instead, I'm just a happy guy going around doing photography, talking about photography, boring my friends, co-workers, wife with talk about photography. And of course being on social media and being out on the internet, discovering other photographers in books, online, whatever, has given me a new view of the world. A world that... No, not a world. A view that kind of enhance my political views. That we need to be more caring towards each other, towards the environment. And the liberalism isn't the way to go, and neither is capitalism. Nor is communism either. It's just kind of a middle road, driving on the left side of that road. So, while I'm working on the next video, I want to know, in the comments, down there, in the comments, my notes, what has photography given you? What have you gotten out of photography? Well, besides an extra $1 or $2 or fame and fortune. What have you gained by doing photography? And with those words, I thank you very much for watching this too long video. And I'll hope I'll see you in the next one. Or at least you'll see me. So goodbye for now, and see you later.